Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. And first of all, happy 17th birthday to my daughter, Mallory. Yes, she was 2 months old when we started the Be Our Guest podcast, and she is 17 today. So we've been on the air for a minute here or two. So thanks for riding along with us here on the podcast for all these years. Today, we have the live replay from Sunday night's live call-in show where ScottyG joined me, and we took your calls and talked about just Disney news and, what we're looking forward to here moving into Marathon Weekend 2025. For those of us that are headed down, we had calls from over in England. We also had calls from New Hampshire and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's going to be cold down in Florida, it looks like, when it comes time to run. So we gave some memories on running during cold times and what we might need to think about when it comes to this year as the temperatures look to dip a little bit. And Scott and Brandon gave their thoughts on being down in Florida earlier this month when it was super chilly, actually a little bit in December when they were down for their trips when it was very cold. We also gave some thoughts on Cake Bake Shop, a great review by Ian, and much more on today's show. So I hope you enjoy the fun Disney talk. Don't forget our podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure here for 2025. For no additional cost to you. And there's some great deals out there for Walt Disney World right now. Check them all out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. We could not do this without you. You can support us just by dropping into patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line, the last one for 2024. It's Sunday night, December 29th, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Hope you're having a great holiday break. If you are, most people are. Hope you are. We are here for the next hour, taking your calls at 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. Again, kind of having a virtual holiday party. All the rules are out this week. And joining me to have some fun, the Detroit Lions' #1 fan. They're going to be playing on Monday Night Football tomorrow night. Your friend and mine. We both got big football games tomorrow. Speaking of that, ScottyG from Must See Adventures. What's up, Scott?
Happy Sunday, Mike. We're still in that limbo period, right, of the holidays. You text me you good to go tonight? I'm like, what day is it? Is it real? Am I recording a Sunday show? Am I recording the Monday podcast? I don't know what day it is.
That's exactly it. I had to text you because I'm thinking, okay, because first of all, I had to decide, are we good to go to record the live call-in show? Then I had to get Ricky in the equation. Now Pam's kind of she's kind of, just on a little brief hiatus right now, taking care of Steve, which everything's moving well. And that she's wanted everybody to know,
we saw a great photo of Steve doing his therapy at the Penguins facility. That was awesome.
Yeah, he's at the Mario Lemieux Center. I think it's named after Lemieux, I think. And he says, this is Steve. Steve's awesome. He's got the greatest sense of humor. He is going to schedule all of his future appointments for his physical therapy only at times when the Penguins practice, so that he's in there with the players, because he's a baller.
It's he's practicing with the squad, basically. Yeah,
that's exactly what I would do. So
might as well get him on the payroll at this point.
Exactly. I mean, if you're going to be
I've seen that guy check some people into the boards and the sword lines. So
if you're going to be
don't mess with Steve.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, it's Sunday night, so we got to take care of that. So then I was thinking, okay, but here's the thing, tomorrow, if you're listening to this live with us, we got a lot of folks joining us all the locations as we broadcast live here, is that Mizzou plays on Monday, our bowl game. We're in the Music City Bowl against the Iowa Hawkeyes down in Nashville. I'm not going to the game because we got too much going on, but it's crazy. Mizzou's playing a football game on a Monday at 1:30 in the afternoon. And then plus on top of that, okay, so then Tuesday's New Year's Eve, right? Wednesday's New Year's Day, and Thursday's Mallory's 17th birthday. So throw out this whole week. Everything is backwards and crazy. And then next week's marathon weekend. So I have no idea what's going on. The schedule is just throw it out. I don't know. And then there's a polar vortex.
Crazy. Hey, at least you got some plans, right? You got stuff to look forward to.
I guess.
Because you need that sometimes in the winter because we were talking before the show started. We got some cold temps that are projected in Central Florida in a couple weeks, which is like unbelievable, like numbers I'm seeing right now. So, whew. Yeah,
dude. Yeah,
so you gotta just be thankful that you have these awesome things to look forward to in the winter months for sure.
We were talking about that, and that is tempered. I don't know. So we're going to open up the phone lines at 407-413-9395. Last week, I gave a shout out to all the lizards. One of my favorite things, because we don't talk about the lizards enough here on the podcast, that we have this great running team. You know, the Facebook group has over 2,900 members, which is incredible for a Disney podcast. I've had many friends get together, run, post the runs, encourage each other. It's amazing. And we all get together for these race weekends, Princess, Springtime Surprise, Marathon Weekend, Disneyland races, and so forth, and wine and dine. But a lot of us are getting ready to go to Florida for Marathon Weekend. That's kind of the big one of the year. And I will tell you what, because again, I'm a weather nerd. I follow a lot of weather sites on the social media, especially on Twitter. And the thing is, dude, I am starting, and I'm not one that usually gets excited about the weather this far out, right? We're December 29th. I'm not leaving until the 9th, I think. It's that Wednesday. So I don't get excited until, maybe a week out. That's when I start to get worried and excited. I still have a few days, so I start getting nervous about forecasts. But these forecasts that I am seeing, dude, the day I leave, it's saying the wind chill, not in Florida, but the wind chill in St. Louis is going to be 33 degrees below zero. And I look down into Florida, the wind chill there is going to be like 12. Okay. Yeah. That's not cool because we've run just real quick. We've run in cold weather. You and I, cause I know we have many pictures of us finishing a race together, doing a race together. There's one year, I think it was 2017. Maybe we finished a full
17
marathon.
And 18, both are chilly.
Oh my God. We finished a full marathon, dude. I had on like the ski mask thing at the finish line of the 26, on Sunday. And so that, it was cold to have a full gear on at the end of a race. So.
And these races are like starting. I mean, you're getting to the corrals at 2 or 3 in the morning. That's going to be like some of the cold, like when you see like the nightly lows, that's going to be in those moments, like when the race is like starting, like the overnight lows. It's brutal.
My toes are hurting right now.
But hey, at least like you won't be in the negative 33.
No,
chill,
yeah.
Right?
I wouldn't be staying outside either. I'd be in my snuggly bed.
That's true. But I want to say one more thing about the lizards, how you're just saying like how we always get together for these races and all that. It's not only the Disney races too. Like we get together all over the country, like the Detroit half a couple months ago, a big group of us were there. Like you see them like in Chicago, even like in the small community races, you see lizards just showing up like in their lime green jerseys, man. It's just one of the coolest things to see for sure. One
of the cool things speaking of Steve and all that, he did his first therapy session over at the Lemieux Center. He had on his lizard like BOGP shirt. Awesome. I actually choked up because he wore that for that special day, getting back. Just kind of powering through that because that's painful. That takes a lot of work and it just shows the resilience of our, we're all fighting together kind of in, we're behind Steve, all of us. And that really just made me proud to be a part of it.
And I'm just thinking something, definitely made me proud. I'm just reading the chat, something that Kim just said, like, honestly, like, she said, like, 17 degrees, would it snow? I would love that. Like, how cool would it be to run the Walt Disney World Marathon in snow? Like, that's actually kind of like a iconic thing.
I've said this before. I ran the half marathon one year where it did snow during the half marathon at Walt Disney World. It did.
It's just
snow.
So cool. It's just cool, I think.
It did stick. But it did snow during the half marathon. When we were waiting in the crowds, I remember huddling up by one of those gas generated like light standards. Now you were breathing carbon monoxide because that's what it spits out, right? But it was warm. So I probably killed a bajillion brain cells, but I didn't die of hypothermia. It was miserable. Oh
just
my
think
gosh.
How your PhotoPass photo would look on Main Street USA with actual snow instead of snow on the race course.
By the way, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Go get your throwaway stuff right now. Cheap sweats. I'm telling you what, dude, it is the best investment you'll ever make. If you're doing dopey, get 4 sets. You will not regret it. Throw it on top of everything. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Trash them. Sometimes you don't even trash them. Like you're just like, I'll wear them for the first mile of the race. Then you're like, I'm still cold. And then you'll just be like, I'll look bad in the pictures. At some point, you don't care. Like, you're just like, do I want to look good in the pictures? But some people want to look good in the pictures. I'm just like, dude, I'm a 51-year-old dad. I don't care. Like, dude, if I'm in some, throwaway Amazon sweats and all my pictures, so what? I'm warm. I've got pictures from the past. I look the same.
Right.
Sorry, Kim.
It's easy for me to say because I'm not going, but like, gosh, if it's like really cold like that, like I think it'd be fun to just be there and just be like, because you talk about that year, like with the half marathon, like, do you remember the year we talk about 2017 and 18, like just those unique weather years, even 2020. I mean, it was like almost felt like record highs that day.
Yes,
like
I do not want to touch that.
Those severe weather days are kind of interesting. It just proves like how tough you really are when you cross that finish line, I think.
It does. But I at this point,
but yeah,
I don't need to
like, I don't want. You'd rather have like 55 degrees.
Yes, yes. I don't need any testing my toughness challenges at this point in my life. Like just being there, getting up at 2:30 and just going.
You mean the 48.6 isn't challenging enough?
Amen. Yes, amen. Like that's the toughness. Like God, you don't need to challenge me any further. Like seriously, any further, and that's it. That's it. Anyway. So we are here, yes, and amen to the shout out to the people that get out and cheer and that stuff, because at least if you're running or walking, you're moving and you're keeping your body. But if you stand there still, God help you. I can't imagine, because it's like when you go to a football game or something, you're in the stands and you're standing on concrete and your feet just kind of freeze to the, Jennifer's right. Bless the people who go out and cheer in that. Anyway. That wasn't the main thing, but that's what we saw. And we're just lamenting that because we're moving into January and it's the coldest time of the year. And man, we need to put like a barrier, like at the Georgia-Florida line so that stuff can stop there. And it's got to be nice. That's why we go to Florida. We don't need this stuff, but it's probably going to happen. Anyway, so Scott, we're going to be talking over the next hour. We can talk stories. It's the end of 2024. So we were kind of talking about like what happened in 2024, big stories. We got the Treasure. Pixar Place Hotel out of Disneyland, debuted from the Paradise Pier Hotel. They made that transformation finally. I think that was a big hit. Tiana's
Cake Bake Shop finally opened after all those years.
Yes. Yeah, we got, I think actually 180-degree pivot. Like people were hating on it. I think people kind of like it now. I don't know. So big stories. We could talk about that. We just want to take people's calls at 407-413-9395. Give us a call and, tell us, what was your top story of 2024? What do you want to talk about? You got a trip report. You got a trip planning question. But what's on your mind as we get together here on a Sunday? Or also, we have a password, and I was thinking about for a password, maybe a Disney gift you got for Christmas or something you didn't get that you would have liked to have gotten Disney related. Right. Did you get anything Disney?
I'm trying to I mean, I got a couple of Disney gift cards, which I just used. I like the Disney gift cards. That was actually about it this year from a Disney perspective. So, hey, those spend really well.
Exactly. That's the only thing I got Disney.
Now, my in-laws, they got a pretty cool Disney gift, I got to say.
We'll talk about that. I wanted to tell that story, but we got our first call. So that's going to be right after this call. All right. Hey, who's joining us? Who do we got?
Hey, guys, it's Brandon up in New Hampshire.
Hey, Brandon. Happy New Year if we don't catch it on the back of the call. But what's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we were down there the first week of December. Sorry, I missed you, ScottyG, but it wasn't a warm week by any means. I mean, from New Hampshire standards, it was warm enough. But we were doing the -5 to -10 below zero over the last few days, and we had a warm up here the last couple of days, 30, 32 degrees. Scott, did you notice how chilly the nights were the first week of December?
Yeah, they were very chilly. Like especially in the fort, riding that golf cart. Like, oh my gosh, like you hit 14 miles per hour, you catch that breeze. Like those were some chilly nights, I'll tell you.
That's when you get the little frostbite on the cheeks, and you're in Florida, and you're like, "This isn't right." I just came from a cold climate like Michigan. It's supposed to be warm. We've noticed that the last 2 years, it's been really chilly the first week of December. We were down there in 2022. And it was 75 degrees every day and like 60, 65 degrees at night. The last 2 years, brutal.
Yeah.
I will say what I kind of like about that though is just like that time of year, like right after Thanksgiving, like you're getting into the holiday spirit. So it feels a little more like the holidays, but I hear you. Like if you're like someone that only goes like every so often, you think, oh, I'm going to go to Florida. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm and all this. I'm going to go swimming. And then like Yeah, then the overnight lows are like in the mid 40s. You're like, what is this? I didn't sign up for this. But yeah,
That's actually what I was going to add.
Luckily, the pools are heated.
Well,
Yes.
they are heated, but you got to get out. Then you got to get to your room. And if you're staying at a value, dude, that could be a hike. And that's a
or if you're staying at the fort and you have to hop on your golf cart to get back.
Oh my god! Yeah, oh my god, that should be a challenge.
And they don't have towels.
The wind in your face, it's like riding in a convertible during the subarctic temperatures.
So I will say I did go swimming one day. Me and Liz did, and we learned they don't have towels. Probably because like they don't want people like with the campsites just taking their towels if they use like the showers, like because I think there's like some public showers in some of those areas. So like, it's bring your own towel, and we did not know that. So that was really fun. Riding in our golf cart with a wet swimsuit back to our cabin.
Wait. You mean it's like bring your own towels from home? Like they don't give them to you in your cabins?
There's no towels poolside, so like.
But they give them to you in your room. They bring them, but you get them in your room though, right? Like to shower with.
They don't have them out at the pool.
Okay,
so we just went to the pool, like we normally would think, like, oh, we'll grab like 4 towels or whatever.
Yeah, okay,
but
I see what you're saying.
There's no towels at the pools at the fort, and
it really would be cold at night. Holy smokes, that would be miserable, dude. You're driving in that golf cart. Oh man, yes,
yeah.
But so what Scott's saying though,
on the way back in the golf cart.
See, here's the thing though, like. I can take it being a little chilly like before Christmas, right? Because it's like, you got like the Christmas trees up. Marathon weekend, the Christmas tree will still be up. This is kind of it. But like before Christmas, it's kind of cute for it to be cold because like you're in that spirit. But in January being cold, it's just like punch you in the face. Like I'll need it to be cold. I want it to be warm once Christmas is gone. Like I'm done with cold. Like if I'm in Florida, I want it to be tropical. After January 1st, we're done with that. Like I don't need cold anymore. I want it to be warm. I want to be hot, but I want to, I want to wear shorts. Forget this. Now I'm getting kind of mad. Oh well. Anyway, we can't do anything about it.
I'll tell you, guys, one of my highlights for 2024 was when we went to Animal Kingdom Lodge for the first week of December. And Mike, I sent you a picture. You've got Deborah, the zebra that's there. You have Ginger, the giraffe. And this year they added in something new. They added in a flamingo, which, my past history with Animal Kingdom Lodge and flamingos being the hype man. And his name is Francisco. It was fabulous to see that thing in the lobby.
That is cool. Francisco. I saw Francisco, by the way, too. He's awesome.
That's right. You spent a night there before your cruise.
I did. Yeah, I got to. And it was cool. Like just having one night there, and I explored all around. I got to just kind of walk around and check it out. Our room was actually, it was a room right off the lobby. You went in, and you turned at the store. Like that right at that store on the right, and our room was like right down the hall there. It was just like boom, right there. Usually it's like 7 miles down a hall. Boom. Nope. Yeah. It was like right out. It was just like a pool view, I guess, room. But
yeah, I've had a pool view there before, and those are nice for like if you want to have something right off the lobby.
Yeah, it was quick.
You don't have to do those.
Wasn't Savannah view, but yeah, I mean it was it was just a little pool view room. But man, it was nice to be. I was right at the lobby. It was real quick in and out. I mean, this was for one night, so it was great.
Oh yeah, we were 5K down. You had to go down the stairs when you get in the lobby, and you go all the way to the end. Savannah view, and you go down the little staircase and take a left. We were in the kudu section, and I swear to God, it was a 5K each way going back and forth from the lobby. So we had to stop and sit by the fireplace, inside the lobby a couple of times just to warm up a little bit. But you made the comment, I think it was a couple of years ago, talking about if you get the wrong view, like and you're in the zebra view or something like that, and you're out at the end, you should get a medal. We should have gotten about 5 or 6 medals for the amount of time we had to walk those hallways.
100%. I mean, because it's like horseshoe shaped. And I mean, if you're on the end of the hall, whew, it is forever.
Brandon, do you rent a car? I can't remember if you rent a car when you go.
We don't. We stay on property, and we usually do the minivans everywhere we go. So that way we don't have to wait for the buses or anything like that. We kind of let my wife as the passenger princess, so we do the minivans everywhere we go.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, I like that too.
Yeah, my wife, when she drives her car and I ride in the passenger seat, she calls me the passenger princess. That just killed me that you just said that. My wife, I gotta play this back for her. Go ahead. Sorry, though. Go ahead, Scott.
No, but what I was getting at is, this is true for most deluxes, but the parking at the deluxes are basically just like one big lot, right? And Animal Kingdom is a great example of this. And Kidani Village too. They actually have like the underground garage. And so you talk about these long walks like to your room. It's even worse when you have a car because you're parked way out in the middle of nowhere. Then you got to take the long walk up. You got to go up all these stairs because the resort sits higher up on another level than the parking lot. So you got to go up this ramp or up these stairs. And then you've already done like a good, like, I don't know, half a mile. Probably not really a half a mile. It feels that way some nights after a long park day. But what I'm saying is like you had the crazy extension of that walk when you drive a car. I feel like the same at the boardwalk and yacht club resorts. It's kind of interesting with the deluxes. That's why I like the values and moderates in a certain way. You can just park like right by your building and then bam, you're right there. But the deluxe is like you got to put in some work when you have your car.
Yeah. No, I agree with
that.
I
saw that.
And Animal Kingdom is like the toughest.
A couple of times just to check it out. I'd never seen it before. And I, to be honest with you, the walk from Jumbo House to Kidani is about 12, 15-minute walk. I saw the parking lots off to the left-hand side. They're out there quite a ways, and they have these specific walking paths to get up there. When I finally got to Kidani, I was surprised by how small the lobby and the entranceway is.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's very small.
I used to walk up to Kidani.
Being that they're, vacation club members, I thought it would be much more grand and much more, large, I guess is the best way to put it. But I was really surprised by how small that entrance area was.
Yeah, it's like a miniature Jumbo House version. It's really miniature.
Yeah, and the lobby is like a miniature Jumbo House. The whole place is like a little mini Jumbo House. That's exactly how I describe it. It's cute though.
It looks like it went through the dryer and got shrunk with your shorts or something,
Right? I like it though. I like how it's like a miniature version. Like I think it's like it's to me it's almost like perfect. It is. It's just like it's like a scaled down Jumbo House.
But I can confirm for you all because I stay at Kidani a few times that those long walkways still exist at Kidani. So I had the miniature lobby, but you still have the long walkways.
I do like Kidani. And then you go down to Sanaa. Oh man, good place.
Really we did the Sanaa breakfast for the first time. Oh, no, sorry, Boma breakfast for the first time. And we had never done that before. I was really surprised that at 9:30 in the morning, you could get fresh carved turkey, fresh carved ham. The food was fantastic. I mean, it was absolutely way higher expectations than I thought. So, I mean, we loved the Mara and everything, but that breakfast was amazing.
It really is. And then my favorite thing, right, is by those carving stations. You put get some Boma mustard, man. I'll put Boma mustard on everything. I'll get some salad, put some Boma mustard on it. Yep. Have a little bit of side of Boma mustard for my zebra domes, but actually I don't do that.
That's gross. It's so gross.
Yeah, you're right though. The turkey carving station at breakfast is like legit awesome.
I had a little plate with the mustard on it to set there. When I came back, the plate was gone. I had literally set that plate aside with just mustard on it to use for the ham and the turkey and a couple of the other things. I came back and the server took it away. I'm like, come on now. I was saving that.
Must have been the rookie. It must have been the server's first day or something. Yeah. They know if they see a little plate with Boma mustard, they got to keep it.
Absolutely. All right, fellas, I won't keep you, but I hope you guys both had a Merry Christmas, and I wish you both the happiest New Year's, and I can't wait to hear you in the future.
We sure did. Hey, real quick, though, password for tonight's show. Did you get anything Disney for Christmas, or is there anything you were hoping to get?
Mike, we are the biggest Disney people here, so I went to Home Depot last week, and I went to get light bulbs, and I went over to their Christmas decoration section, and they had a 4-foot-tall animatronic talking and singing Mickey Mouse. It was $200, but it being the week before Christmas, it was half off. Nice. So of course, Brandon said, "Yep, let's go ahead and grab that." I brought it home. My wife says, "What the hell is that thing?" I assembled it at work, put it in the living room, and this thing scared the ever-living crap out of our dogs. But I'll tell you, that was fantastic. But my wife got me the ultimate gift for Christmas this year. She got me a Haunted Mansion etched chopping board for charcuterie. This thing is absolutely gorgeous.
Nice. So
you got to get that out for your New Year's Eve party.
Yes,
some good use to it early.
Absolutely, yeah, go for it. Holy cow! So you got a Haunted Mansion charcuterie board, and then you got a 4-foot Mickey that scares the dogs. That's a beautiful story.
I mean, this thing is massive. If you go to Home Depot's website, you'll see it. There's a Minnie Mouse and there's a Donald Duck too, which I'm pretty sure I'll have by next year, but
no,
I mean that's almost real. That's like life size Mickey Mouse,
Disney
right?
That is in our home is literally absurd at this point.
Oh, that is too good. That is too good. Well, Brandon, again, Happy New Year to you. Tell everybody we said hello, and we'll talk to you hopefully next week.
Absolutely, fellas. Have a great the rest of your night. And again, Happy New Year to everybody that's listening.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See you, Brandon. Happy New Year.
All right. It's so funny. Oh, my gosh. I just want to see him scare the dogs with it. All right, 407-413-9395. Shout out to Robert in the chat over on Facebook. Says he's in line for the West Coaster on the Santa Monica Pier. He's going to Disneyland for the first time on New Year's Eve. Says Happy New Year to the BOGP. I was at the Santa Monica Pier. Didn't ride the coaster, but we visited that when we went to Disneyland in 22 for the first time because we wanted to see where the end of Route 66 was. And that's where it is. So, Scott, we were talking about... Oh, actually, Matthew had a question. Over on Facebook. This is going on the Dream next December for a maritime cruise. Nassau doesn't excite us. So what are the shipboard activities available while in port? So specifically the Dream, what do you like to do on the Dream, Scott? We have our next call waiting. So caller, hang on 1 second. But Scott, what do you recommend for the Dream as far as doing activities on board?
Yeah. So Matthew, there'll be plenty of stuff. So, and I saw Veronica kind of respond to this too, that they had like an empty ship. That's not always necessarily true because a lot of veteran Disney cruisers like those shorter Dream cruises that stop at Nassau and they kind of see that as a sea day. So a lot of people will stay on, but like, yeah, you'll have like loads of stuff to do from the trivia events. The characters will be out and about too. So you'll be able to do characters. I would say like the one, and it's not really like a down thing, but you can't really do any shopping because there's like these rules and regulations with the cruises. When you're at a port, they have to close down the shops so that, you know, it's not fair to the ports, right? Like the shopping should be done wherever that location is. So the stores will be closed. So that's kind of like the one downside, but there'll be plenty to do from the dining and, you know, you can go to like the main dining restaurants even to grab a lunch. So you don't even have to go to the buffets too. So it's going to be you will be entertained and not be bored at all. And it's a great day to just explore the ship.
It's also a good day to do the aqueduct. Get up there because some of the people are off the ship. So at least you're not connecting with everybody. Pool, like somebody said, pool time. Jessica of New Hampshire said pool time, but the aqueduct, the adult areas. Sometimes they have deals on the spas too. If you're an adult, they'll run deals on spas.
Another thing I like to do on the Dream too, especially when at Nassau, is or by the back of the ship, they have like this Goofy's like sports area. There's like a little mini golf course. And that area of the ship looks out like at Atlantis. Like you can really see a good view of Atlantis. So I love taking, and it's like at the top deck. So you got like these wide open areas. So it's a really cool place to take some photos of Atlantis, get a couple selfies or whatnot. Like I really like doing that up there.
And it's a good time to play because when you're at sea, it's so dang windy. It's hard to play. But when you're at port, you can actually play because, you know, it's not like you're contending with 50-mile-an-hour winds.
That's kind of like an underrated thing. I love the goofy golf. I mean, I'm a golfer, mini golf guy. Like I love that stuff. But it's a fun course to play for sure.
That's one of the improvements on the Wish and the Treasures. They moved the ping pong tables into that hero zone, which is like that multi-purpose area that's indoor. So you can actually play ping pong while you're at sea. There's no wind. But when you're trying to play ping pong up on the top deck and you're at sea and it's forget it. Dude, the ping pong ball is like weighs like a feather. Anyway, next call.
It's a bummer we lost the mini golf though with the Wish though.
We did. I know. Missed that I can't believe we couldn't put that somewhere.
Arizona is really nice though.
But we do have tons of air hockey and foosball, so we got that. All right, but we have our next caller who's been waiting patiently. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey guys, it's Simon calling from the UK.
Oh, it's Simon.
Simon, my guy.
Simon and Sully, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm back from the wilderness of a very busy panto and cruise schedule, man. It's been intense, but I'm back in the land of Disney. Well,
we're glad
in under a week, I'll be back in the land of Disney anyway with you guys.
Yes. Glad to hear it. So has life been treating you well?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Just been busy. I'm overexcited for the trip. I'm overfed from Christmas, and I'm way underprepared for the half marathon. But we're just going to turn up and go for it.
So over in England, what do you guys call long johns? My grandma called them long handles, like long underwear, whatever they call them to keep yourself warm. What are you going to bring to stay warm? Because apparently it's going to be a polar vortex. It's going to be freezing down in Florida.
Well, so we obviously are very used to running in the cold over here anyway. So I would tend to run with a pair of the sort of what I call the legging trousers that go under your shorts. So
I like it.
I'll have those on anyway.
Because I just want to call them what you guys call them. With the leg and trousers. That's what I'll call them.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure that's what they are called. I think they're just called running trousers, but I'm trying to over-explain it, I guess. But the long johns, they're something different altogether. They're something like my granddad would wear.
You see, yeah, but I mean, I like it. You know, it's like I'm coming out of Willy Wonka or something like that. Grandpa that never did anything until he got the golden ticket. Then he tap danced like Fred Astaire. You know, like he lay there like a bum for 30 years, and then he could, you know, tap dance like nobody's business. Yeah.
Yeah, there must have been something special in his hot chocolate, I guess.
I guess so. I don't know.
So Simon, is the whole crew coming? Is like Sully and Sid and all them coming?
Yeah, so all 4 of us are coming. Yeah, we're coming out on Saturday the 4th. We're going to be there and fly home on the 13th. So, yeah,
Very
there
nice.
for the week.
I can't wait. I'm coming down on the 9th and then heading home on that Monday. So I'll be there Wednesday to Monday.
8th. It'll be the 8th.
Nice.
8th. I don't know. Whenever it is. I haven't looked that far. I'm just trying to get through my daughter's birthday. Once that happens on that next Thursday, then I can start looking at Disney. Just trying to get through the new year, man.
I was going to ask, it's been a long, long time since I came out and did Run Disney. I mean, it was 2019. That was the first one I ever did, and it was the last one I ever did. What's the deal with, as I said, I'm very underprepared. What's the situation with like getting to the expo and doing all of that? I know I've got to print off this form and have that ready to hand in and whatnot, but what's with all like the virtual queue and what's the best way to attack the expo?
So you can sign your waiver online. You can actually, I got an email not too long. Actually, I just got the email this week for Disneyland, which is at the end of January. So you might have gotten that already. It could have gone into your spam folder though, because those things do tend to go there. And it will say like you have a document that needs attention or something like that. You can just also log into your My Disney Experience account on Run Disney. It's tied to your Run Disney account, and it'll show like it'll say My Events. There's a tab that says My Events, and you'll go in there and it'll say Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend 2025. One document needs attention, and you go in there and you can digitally sign it. That'll just get you past having to stop at a computer when you get to the expo and having to sign the paper, like print out and sign it. You'll be past that. It saves you like 5 minutes. Not a big deal. You can do it in 5 minutes when you get to the expo, but it saves you a couple minutes. But other than that, the virtual queue thing, now that's the only thing that is for is the official Run Disney merchandise. So if you want to buy stuff like the jackets, the pins, apparently they're going to have shoes this year. I don't know if that's going to be at Marathon Weekend. I haven't heard anything, but they're by Brooks. They might. But all that official stuff, you do have to have virtual queue. I think you can get in that starting at around like 9 or 10. It's always when I'm on the airplane going down.
And that's for the first day too. So Simon, you said you're doing the half only. So I don't know if your goal is to go to the expo that first day on Wednesday, but if you go like on Thursday or Friday, you shouldn't need the virtual queue. I believe at that point, that's only really for the first day.
Okay, cool. Because I haven't really planned which day to go yet. I know I'm running on the Saturday, but yeah, we haven't got as far. We're so underprepared for it because when we do our sort of winter pantos and touring shows, it like consumes us for like 4 months. So everything else just goes on the back burner. So we're just starting to think with less than a week to go, we got to book the flights still. We've got so much to do, but we know we're going to be there and we're looking forward to having a good time and hopefully catching up with you guys and hanging out a little bit. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you. I'll definitely get to see you and hang out. And Scott's not going to be there. Hopefully.
Unfortunately, I won't be there. But
yeah,
now I might have to look at some airfare though.
Yeah, he needs to get down there somehow.
Yeah, I might have to look. I got a lot of friends that are going to be down there. Maybe I need to make the move.
I have a room, dude. I'm telling you, I'm staying in Coronado. Oh wait, I got a king bed though. Well, we'll figure it out.
Well, that'll be awkward.
No, dude. This one thing, it was on discount. Maybe hey, if you're coming, I can probably switch it up still. So, but let me know soon. If you're coming, let me know. I'll switch.
It's not that I ever shared a bed with someone at Coronado.
I know, but it wasn't me. I made you totally share a bed with my buddy. So that's another story. But so here's the deal though. So let me tell you my predicament though, Simon, because I was thinking about this the other day. So I'm in between annual passes, right? So I have 0 tickets right now. The other day I bought a 10-day park hopper because I'm going to upgrade it to an annual pass when I get there. Because like we can sell park hopper tickets as travel agents, but we can't sell annual passes. So I'd rather sell a ticket to myself that I can sell and then upgrade it when I get there. But now I can't go directly to the expo because I want to get an annual pass discount on anything I buy. Like if I buy a jacket or something, because I mean, it is a pretty decent discount. It's, I got all these Disney gift cards for Christmas, right? From my in-laws and my brother, my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, everybody gets me. If they don't know what to get me, I get a Disney gift card. So I'll probably get a jacket or something at the expo, and the savings are pretty good. They're like 20% or something. But now I'm going to have to, before I go to the expo, when I get there, I'm going to have to go to like Disney Springs first. That's probably the quickest way to get this done. Go to Disney Springs and take that 10-day hopper and upgrade it to an annual pass, and then go to the expo to show that I have an annual pass. So it's an extra step now.
I guess you have to see how you fix for time and the way your plans work out, because I'll say I'll be there from the 4th. And I don't know if you remember our last conversation. Well, it's funnily enough, I was thinking about this today. The last time I was on the live calling, do you remember I had to dash off the phone because Sydney woke up and started crying? Yep. And I had to go take care of him. Man, I swear that kid has only just gone back to sleep since then.
So I'm sure he's excited for the trip, right? I mean, what's he looking forward to going back to Walt Disney World?
Well, so Sid's not quite 3 yet, so he doesn't really comprehend much other than what he wants in that moment. But Sully's really looking forward to it. He's had the, so the point I was going to make, I actually got an annual pass. So I have an annual pass, so we can hook up and go to the expo, and I can help you out with that. But none of the others have tickets because it's not worth them having the annual pass because they're not going to go enough to warrant the cost. And we're also not sure that we're going to get them a full 7-day, 14-day pass because with the run-in and everything else, we just don't know exactly how long we're going to be spending in the parks. So we are looking at the option of maybe doing 1 or 2 days and giving Sully the choice of which park to pick. We did that in October, and he chose Epcot, and we had an amazing day in Epcot.
Good idea.
Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm about to say that
3 times in a row.
I was going to say he's going to pick Epcot, right? Because he loves Guardians.
Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, this time around, I said to him, if we pick one park, what do you want to do? Do you want to go Epcot again? And he's like, I love Epcot, but I think I'd like to go to where the Star Wars land is because he's really getting into Star Wars, but I don't know where he's getting into it from because it's just not something we have a lot of around the house. But I don't know whether he's speaking to friends at school or what, but he's convinced he wants to go to Hollywood Studios because he wants to go in the Star Wars land, as he calls it, and he wants to watch the fireworks show Fantasmic. So it's looking like it's going to be a Hollywood Studios day for us. But what park would you pick if you could only pick one in a week?
See, I'm with Sully. I mean, if he's got that on his mind, there's tons to do. Because think about it. He could do all the stuff in Galaxy's Edge. Because, I mean, there's a lot besides just Rise and Smuggler's Run. I mean, there's a lot to see and explore the characters. Because if he's seeing it, he'll be blown away by all the experiences in there. But also, all of Toy Story Land, he'd probably really get a kick out of Slinky Dog. Toy Story Mania is a solid ride. Alien Swirling Saucers is something you can get on with a shorter wait time. And then you got things like Tower. I mean, that's a cool attraction. He'd probably get a kick out of that. I'm sure he'd ride that if he rode Guardians. Is Rock and Roller Coaster
Mickey and Minnie is just one that I think is a classic.
Absolutely.
So,
and you probably like Star Tours. I mean, that simulator, but you'd like that. And Rock and Roller Coaster's still open, right? So he's probably not tall enough.
I don't know if Sully's has the height.
40, is it 48? It's 48. He's probably not tall enough.
So I think he's still just a bit too shy for Rock and Roller Coaster. I think we checked last time. He could definitely do Tower.
Yeah.
And most other things. I think Rock and Roller Coaster was the one thing he couldn't do, but that's fine.
But I mean, there's plenty to do there, and you could get a good meal. Maybe do like a 50s prime time or a sci-fi, or I mean,
we really enjoyed. We really enjoyed doing Mama Melrose and the dining package for Fantasmic last time we were there. So I wouldn't be beyond doing that again because that was awesome.
Yeah. And Fantasmic is such a good show. It is such a good show. I agree with that. It's a great show.
However, I don't know if I told you this. I don't think this came up when I did my trip review show with you, Mike. But when we went to the Fantasmic show after we did the Mama Melrose dining package, me and Sully went to sneak in a quick ride on, I think it was the Smuggler's Run. And so Susie and Sid went ahead of us. We followed afterwards. We got caught in a bit of a line at the Smuggler's Run. By the time we got to Fantasmic, they stopped letting people in. It was full. And even though we had the dining package tickets, they wouldn't let us in. If it hadn't been for Susie and Sid already being in there, we wouldn't have been able to get in because they were able to send a photo of where they were sat to me on my phone for me to show the cast member for them to let us in. And we were prepared to like not be let in. And, you know, it's fine. That would have been our own fault for putting the ride in. But man, there was like hundreds of people trying to get in. It was crazy. I don't know if you've ever experienced that before.
What time of year was it? Because I mean, that's crazy that it was at capacity. I mean, I guess the first show does get a capacity.
We would have been late August. It would have been.
Huh.
Yeah, because I think with the dining, because it has like a cutoff, right? Where it's like, if you're not here like 15 minutes before the show or whatever, then they're like,
they just fill it
all seats are open, basically, you know, which is kind of unfair in a way because you're like, well, I have this ticket, like I paid for this, you know, I had the meal, you know, I should be let in anytime during the show. You'd almost slink. But yeah, they do have this weird cutoff, I think, even for that, which is kind of unfortunate. But I think it's just because they want to just maximize how many people they can get in that theater.
Yeah, you got to think it's to do with health and safety and capacity. And like I said, it was totally our fault because we tried to sneak another ride in, which we successfully did. But fortunately, because Susie and Sid were already there, they let us in because she was able to send a picture saying, you know, this is where we're seated. And then they took us in round a side entrance by the exit for Hollywood Tower of Terror. And they let us in there.
Yeah. I mean,
that's funny though. Like the photo got you in. I'm glad it worked out. It really worked out for you and Sully because then you got to go on another ride too. And
exactly.
Absolutely.
You took the chance. You rolled the dice and came up.
I was sweating, legging it across Hollywood Studios.
Heck yeah.
Trying to get there.
You're like, we won. We got a ride and we got a show.
There was one time, not really related to this, but kind of to Friday's episode where me and Mike were just sharing stories. I have this theory that whenever I'm at Hollywood Studios, that's like the biggest rain that you'll have on your trip. Like, I don't know, like it always rains at Hollywood Studios for me.
Yeah.
And me and Mike, we were there one time and like, I think the girls rode Tower or something. And you and I like didn't. And like, somehow you and I got separated. Like it was raining so hard. Like we walked right by each other and we couldn't even see. We didn't even know it.
Dude, it was, I mean, it was
your shake.
Yes, it was Florida rain. I remember. I did. That was back when Tune In sold shakes like to go. Yeah.
I'll just never forget like because then we text like, where are you? Like we were like right next to each other and we had no idea because like the visibility was absolutely zero. It rained so much.
It was zero. Yeah, exactly. You're like I'm right here. I'm like I'm in the exact same spot, dude. Where are you? You're like I think I'm looking at you.
I don't see you. Anyway, I was just thinking about you trekking through Hollywood Studios like that to get the Phantasm. Like, hopefully it wasn't raining because like that can be, you can get lost pretty easily.
It wasn't raining at that point, but as you may remember from the loss of the shoe and the loss of everything else on the last trip that we had, as we got off the Skyliner to go into Hollywood Studios, the same day we lost Sully's Magic Band and Sid's shoe, we realized when we got off the Skyliner that we'd left the umbrella on the Skyliner as we walked into Hollywood Studios, and it started raining, and it was just like perfect end to a perfect day.
Yeah, right.
You know what? The person who got your umbrella in the Skyliner appreciated your generosity.
Oh yeah, they were loving it. It was a nice umbrella too.
Exactly. We're like, dang, this is an upgrade.
An upgrade. Yeah, like
so someone got
but if you pack, see, my case normally is you pack your umbrella for Hollywood Studios, it will never rain. But for whenever it's like you leave it on the Skyliner or you look at the weather, it's like it says 0% chance of rain. Like, all right, I'm going to Hollywood Studios, and somehow it's still gonna find a way to rain.
I always tell my wife, pack the ponchos. That way I know we're gonna stay dry. You know, tell her.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, look, it's so great to talk to you guys again. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I look forward to it being very soon. Mike, I shall see you hopefully in a week. And Scott, one day soon we'll have to
someday soon.
Find a way to be in the world.
I really want to meet your
man.
family and all that. You guys are just a beautiful family. And but I just got to ask: is there a bank holiday tomorrow or no?
I forgot about that.
Scott, come on! You know there's always a bank holiday tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Well, happy New Year to the family and safe flight over to the States. And I'll see you here in just over a week.
Cheers, guys.
Can't
Take
wait
care.
to see you. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye-bye. I mean, we have the best listeners, though. I mean, it's so cool. We're talking to somebody over in England. I get to meet them here shortly. It's going to be awesome. All right, we have another call coming in here. I know they're trying to get in that whole time. And, man, we got to share your story, too, before we get out of here, so we can't forget that. So here is the call that was trying to get in. Let's grab this one right here. Hey, who's joining us?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Mike. This is Ian from Pittsburgh.
Hey, Ann from Pittsburgh. It's Mike from Missouri. What's going on? Happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm so glad that is Scott. I think Scott's on the phone, right?
Scott is
Yeah,
here.
I'm right here, Ian.
Hey,
Good to hear
and
from you.
by the way, I saw just a few weeks back you celebrated a big anniversary. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we celebrated 25 years, and we went to a place I think you need to go to, which is the Cake Bake Shop.
There you go. So, yeah, look, you had beautiful pictures of you two in the Cake Bake Shop. It looked like it was a wonderful place for a celebration. Yes.
Oh, it was great. It was great. My husband was the one that wanted to go. And so we listened to Scott's review and we watched a few YouTube videos and we actually had a great time. We ate festival food at the Festival of the Holidays beforehand, so I wasn't super hungry, but I know, Scott, I think you got the quiche or something.
Yes.
But I just got like a cup of chicken soup, which I know sounds really kind of boring, but it was really, really good. And we had some pink champagne and I had a slice of cake. So I was really happy with it.
That sounds great. Yeah. I found like everyone, a couple of our friends that joined us are in the chat right now too, so they might chime in, but everything we had like was really flavorful, like really good. So like, and the decorations, right? Like I loved how like there was like Christmas decorations everywhere. They had like that thing that rotated at the very top, like was so awesome. Like, I just loved the vibe of that restaurant.
Yeah, the vibe was great. We had like a 7:30 reservation. So, and we were staying at the boardwalk, which was even better because we just walked over. But we didn't leave till 10:30 at night. And our server was fantastic. And it was just great because like you said, the vibe was it was so beautiful in there with the decorations, and we didn't even realize 3 hours had passed. It was a really nice meal. So it's not a place like I think you had said, Scott, that I would necessarily go to every single time, but it was perfect for an anniversary, and we would definitely go back. And I think because I wasn't like extremely hungry, our bill wasn't, and plus our friends paid for. Our friends that we dined with paid for champagne. So our bill wasn't extraordinary. But yeah, I mean, we did have we had two slices.
It could add up for sure though, right? It could.
So that meal was like the length of almost like a Rebby meal on a cruise ship or something. I mean, that's not a meal. That's an experience at that point.
I thought you were going to say the Godfather trilogy or something.
No, see, I've never seen those movies. I don't know what you're talking. I've seen like memes, but I know like. And I've never done Remy. I've done Palo Brunch, and I try to drag that thing out as long as I can. But I know the Remy meal is a long time because, like, when you guys go to it, I'm like, I won't see Scott or Pam or anybody for like the next half a day.
See you tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have to say that probably the best thing that I got was there was like this bruschetta, and again, something that kind of seems boring, and it had like this burrata cheese, but it was fantastic. So, the stuff it's expensive, but as Scott said, it's really, really flavorful. So I don't mind. I mean, I probably paid like $20 for my bowl of chicken soup, but it was like one of the best bowls of chicken soup I've ever had. So as I would be more mad if I went in there and had bad food. So the service was great. The food was great and the company was great. So it was all like, everybody was happy.
That's perfect.
That's a great review. That's the stuff that'll keep people going there for special occasions, right? Because you can splurge big occasionally. It's just, this isn't a place you're probably going to go, like once a month or once a week. It's just like, it was your big anniversary and you went there with great company with, celebrating a milestone. So there you go. You got to go.
And I too also had a bunch of Festival of the Holiday food booths before we went. We lived like the same day, basically. I love it.
Yeah, the food booths. I mean, that's always my priority because that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So what else is going on? We kind of hijacked you there with the anniversary talk, but what would you have on your mind?
Yeah. Okay, so there's two things I wanted to say to you, but the first thing, I'll just make it quick. I thought of you, Mike, and Scott will laugh about this because I was on Instagram yesterday and I saw, I get these, they feed me stuff, right? That's why you get addicted to stuff like this.
100%.
But I get these like targeted, like it's suggested for you. And since I run so much, I got this one reel that was suggested, and it was this guy did a 50K, which I think is around 30 miles, and he did it through the streets of Denver, and it was an actual race, and it was sponsored by Taco Bell. So the requirement was they had to stop at 9 different Taco Bells along the route, and they had to eat something every time. So the guy was getting like these like cinnamon twists or something, but because he was afraid to eat too much. But they had to get, I think one of the requirements was maybe a crunch wrap at least once, and they had to get a burrito at least once. So he said he was like he was really ill when he ate that burrito.
Now, see, I could handle that. I could totally, because I mean, I had 2 burritos powered up right before the show. If you notice my Instagram, my in-laws got me they always give me a Taco Bell gift card for Christmas along with my Disney gift card, and I redeemed it immediately tonight. I got a 5-layer because they're doing away with that decades burrito. It threw me off. So like my order was all screwed up. So I panicked at the order stanchion thing in my Jeep there. So I was like, oh my gosh, they don't have the 70s burrito anymore. So I'm scanning. First thing I saw was a 5-layer burrito. Terrible choice, but I just yelled it out. 5-layer burrito. Sucker was huge, but I took one for the team. Oh, it was good though. Glorious, but didn't need it.
I mean, not quite a 50K. Not quite a 50K, but me and Mike did a 15K in St. Louis a couple times.
Yes.
And one time, it was the only time I ever had White Castle in my life.
True.
Mike stopped at the White Castle and we got some sliders.
That's right. We were running. We did that. It was a hot chocolate race. We were doing the hot chocolate race in St. Louis through downtown.
Cool.
Yeah, through downtown St. Louis. Scott was here. A bunch of friends were in from out of town. And we're running through downtown St. Louis and we're passing a White Castle. And I'm like, Scott, have you ever had White Castle? He's like, I've never had White Castle. I'm like, we're fixing that right now. So I ran because it's open 24 hours, right? This was like 7:00 in the morning. Not a soul in this sucker. So I ran in there. I'm like, give me a dozen White Castles as fast as you can. In the middle of the race, the guy's like, a dozen sliders. I'm like, I just gave him I was like, here's $10, keep the change. Boom, ran out there. Dude, we're finishing the races. We're eating these. And it was so cold that day too. It was bitter cold.
It was cold.
And we're just eating these sliders running down like Market Street in downtown St. Louis, like looking at the arch. They were good too. But I mean, you don't really want to eat sliders.
You're always going to remember that.
Oh God. Yeah. Cause I like them, but man, they're not really good to eat while you're running, but it was fun.
No, not really. The Disney Marathon, they give those little chocolates, but if they had like a Taco Bell burrito,
oh God, yeah,
that would really power you through the end of the race.
I'll just tell you right now, I will not run with Mike during a Taco Bell.
No, I'm saying, yeah, I mean, that should be exactly. That should be a race run by one person. That should be a solo event only. Like, dude, exactly only. I'm just saying. Okay, so point number 2. We moved past that one.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I want to. Okay. So I need your help. So we were just finishing dinner, and my son. He's home for Christmas break. He's 20 years old. He's the one that goes to Auburn. So I conned him into running the 5K with me for marathon weekend. And so I was just reminding him just like 15 minutes ago, you're going to be getting up at like 2:30 to do the 5K. And he's very pained by this. So his strategy is he thinks he's just not going to go to bed at all and just stay up and then run the 5K and then go back and sleep the rest of the day after it's over. And I told him, I don't think that's a good idea. I think he needs to go to bed at like 10 because, I'm going to go to bed probably at 7. But he thinks he'll go. I said, go to bed at 10, at least get like 4 hours of sleep. And then you can take a nap when you get back to the room. So what do you two think, you being guys, maybe like as a mom, I'm not maybe giving the best advice, but I think it's a bad idea to stay up all night.
I have a 5K strategy every year, but Scott, tell the story of the lizards was that at Wine and Dine?
Yeah, so we had a group of friends. Ian,
I don't know how it turned
Jared,
out.
Stacy, Jody, and Tim. They went to the Halloween party the night on Halloween night, the night before the 5K for Wine and Dine. And yeah, I don't know if they went to bed. Honestly,
Caleb says sounds like a good plan to him, and he's
yeah.
a
And I was
veteran
gonna say that
runner.
I'm on your son's side. I mean, I see both sides, right? And Ian, we all know, yeah, you're very responsible when you run Disney. You're gonna go to bed at 7:30 for sure.
I
But
know. I
as a 20-year-old
Yeah,
college
that's the
student,
thing. You can
why
do any.
not?
That's the thing. If you're a 20-year-old guy, like kid, a college student, you can pull this off. Like, it would kill me.
The problem is,
It
like,
would
what are you
kill
gonna do
me.
to stay awake though? Like, are you gonna go to Disney Springs? Like, you gotta find something
yeah.
that like keeps you
We are
energized
at
and going all
Saratoga.
night.
We are, yeah, we are staying at Saratoga. But I was said to him, like, it's me and him. My husband doesn't arrive until my husband and my oldest son don't arrive until the next day. So I'm like, it's me and you in this 2-bedroom at Saratoga. So what are you going to do? Like, he could walk over to Disney Springs, but so I'm not going to get up till probably 2:30, 2:15 in the morning. So I'm not sure what he's going to do for
And there
that
still
whole
won't. There
period
won't
of
be
time.
anything. There won't be anything happening even over there, like at 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning.
No.
Really, it'll be pretty
Right.
dead. Here's the thing. Like what I do, and this is my strategy every year, and I'm not fast, but because a lot of people walk the 5K that are doing dopey and really go slow on the 5K, I do the opposite.
Yeah.
I haul butt
You
on the
do?
5K and try to be the first one on the bus because I want to get on the very first bus back to my resort and get back in bed as fast as possible. And I can get back in bed and take a decent nap and still get to a park at a decent time if I hurry. Because if you hustle, you can still be on that very first bus because like those buses don't leave right away. And you can get back to your hotel pretty quick and you can still get back, shower, go back to bed, get like another hour and a half, 2 hours, like just get a good nap. It's still dark and go to a park for the 5K. That's what I do. That's what I do every year. Yeah. It doesn't work for the other ones.
To have drinks at Nomad Lounge that day, but you're right. I could go back to the room and sleep for a little bit.
I do that. I go back and sleep after the 5K every year before I go to a park.
That's not a bad idea. I think he's planning to go back and sleep for like 8 hours.
Right.
Which is okay.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of
my concern is just finding enough to be like,
yeah.
Because if you're sharing in the same room, like you don't want him having the light on. Like I don't know if you have like a 1-bedroom or like how the room is separated, but like
we have a 2-bedroom, so he would have his own room, and I have my own room.
So I guess you could watch TV, but I know me personally, and I'm double the age, but I put on the TV and I lay down in a nice comfy bed in Saratoga, and I'm out.
Exactly. I know, dude. It's like
right.
So I think the trouble is maybe he could just watch a bunch of must-see adventures that night, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We watched
a marathon.
one today. He didn't see it, but I watched it.
I thought about you today when I uploaded a new video. I'm like, oh, 2 videos in like 5 days. Like Ian's got to be pumped about that, right?
My husband and I both watched them, so awesome. They were awesome. We loved them. But yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Not that they're boring, but I love watching them. So maybe that'll relax me. I'll watch it again before I have to go to sleep at 7:00.
Well, here's the good news. If he stays up all night, you might sleep better because one of my big panic here again, this is killing me because Scott's not going, right? Because we're like our redundancy systems. Like we always like, as soon as I get up, I text him. I'm like, dude, are you awake? Like that's always my thing.
Oh, okay.
And like, if I don't hear from him, then I call. Like, I'm like, dude, are you awake? Like, cause a lot of times we're in different hotels or, we're obviously in different rooms a lot of times.
You've only had to like really do this once, and you actually had to come to my door because
like, finally I just gotta like find him, like get up, like you cannot miss the bus. But we always make sure we get up, right? But like like I've gone to a couple race weekends by myself, and I'm panicked, that I'm gonna miss my alarm, no matter how many alarms I set. That something's gonna happen. But at least if your son stays up all night, you can probably sleep better. Like you won't miss the bus.
True.
Yeah.
Alarm.
Because I'm always worried about missing the bus.
Yeah.
I don't sleep well the night before a race.
Do I have to set alarms now, Mike, to make
Yes.
sure and send you the text
You gotta be like,
from Michigan?
yeah, I think I could automate it. Probably. I'll make my wife.
I did. I know you have phone calls to get, but I will say one thing. When I did Dopey this last January 24, I was very good about setting my alarm the first three nights, and I must have forgotten the 4th time. And so I woke up, my eyes popped open, and I was like, something in my conscious was like, you forgot to set your alarm. And my eyes popped open and I looked at the clock and it was like 2:15. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Like,
and I looked, I had never set the alarm. So maybe I will like have him, but he's not very good about like, if I tell him you need to wake me up, like he would not do it. So
just don't make sure you don't set your calculator as the alarm. I don't know if you ever seen those memes where they crack me up where someone's like, oh, I was late to work. Oh, shoot. I set my calculator, not my alarm.
Now I got something else to worry about because I'm like, oh my God, I'll be like later, but did I set my calculator? Did I set my alarm? Did I set my calculator? Because a lot of times I just yell it out to SIRI, set an alarm for whatever, AM or PM.
Well,
real quick, the worst though is over that wine and dine race weekend when you're doing the half marathon that's over the night where the time changes. That screws you up. Like, dude, when is it?
You really got to trust the system.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I'm like, dude, when am I getting up? Am I going to be an hour late for the bus? I know. Or early? I don't know.
A race in Pittsburgh that weekend. There's it's called the EQT, which is a gas company out here, 10 miler. So I always do the 10 miler and it's the same thing. It's always that Sunday. So I'm like, oh, nice, because I'm not getting up at 2. But it's nice because I have that extra hour. But then I freak out that I'm like, what if the alarm's not set right, But that would be, I'll have to do wine and dine sometime because you do get that extra hour. That would be really lovely.
But it's crazy because it is like you're getting up like right at the time the time change happens at the wine and dine because it's like, it's like at around 2:00 in the morning or something when people.
Yeah, I wake up at like 3 for these races.
Yeah.
I'm very last minute with these.
I get it. I'm always like first or second bus. I'm terrible. And then I just stand in a parking lot forever. I need to get back. I got to change my personality on that. It's terrible. Anyway, so when are you guys heading down? You're at Saratoga, but when you guys going down on that Wednesday or what?
I'm going with my son Kyle, the one that's running with me. So we're going on Tuesday afternoon because usually I'll go out Wednesday because I'm trying not to use so many DVC points. And like the past couple of years, it's like, why am I doing this to myself? Because then I don't get to the expo until like Wednesday, right before it closes.
Yep.
And so this year, and it was like a disaster last year because he and I were running through the expo at the last minute. So I was like, let's go out the night before. We'll just get an extra night. And so we'll go out Tuesday. And then that way I can do the virtual queue, which I've never done.
Mm-hmm. And,
I'm like you, Mike, where like, I just want to get a dopey jacket or even like a Run Disney shirt. There is nothing left. Right? By the time I get there at like 5:00 on Wednesday, there's nothing left. Oh. So this time I hope that I can get in the virtual queue and actually get, there at a decent hour.
Yeah, I know. My hopes are not going to be great for a dopey jacket, but if I get one, I'm just at this point in my life, like I've just come to the realization if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If I get a marathon jacket, that's fine. If I don't, no, I save $100. Like it's just how it is. I mean, I used to get so bent out of shape over this stuff, and I used to get so mad. I'll save some money.
Yeah, just take that money and buy a cheeseburger at the cake bake shop, and you're good.
I'll just keep it in my pocket. I mean, I want one, but I mean, it shouldn't be so It shouldn't be so difficult. Like there should be a system that if you're signed up for that race, you should be able to purchase one. Not that you should be able to purchase a bag full to put on eBay. You should be able to purchase one dopey jacket if you've signed up for a dopey challenge. But that's
the biggest thing is they should only let people register for the races into that merchandise tent. That's the biggest one for me.
Yep.
Because I think you have a lot of locals that aren't doing the races. They get in the virtual queue, they buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they're walking out there with just like sacks, like
and a lot of those people aren't even registered for a single race, which is kind of irritating.
I feel like with Scott, were you the one that somebody went, you weren't going to get there in time or something, so somebody bought you a jacket and then it was like women's cut or something?
Yes. Yes, that has happened to me.
I would love to see you modeling that.
I think I might have a photo of me wearing it, so I'll see if I can dig that one up. But yes, I have gotten a women's cut one before. It was a princess jacket, but then I ended up finding someone that was like local that missed out on it or something, and having to be like the right size. It was a little bit bigger, but it worked out really well. So it did end up going to a good home eventually.
Yep.
That's good. Well, I don't want to keep you guys, but we'll miss you, Scott, and I will talk to you in the corrals, Mike.
Yes, we'll see you there and get a picture, and post it up and say hey to everybody.
Yeah.
So happy New Year out in Pittsburgh, and we'll safe travels down.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah.
Same to you.
All right, see
I'm
you.
a little
Happy
bit
New Year, Ian.
excited and nervous.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
All right, Scott, we got to wrap this one, but we got to tell that quick story about what you got your in-laws for Christmas. That's pretty cool.
Just the real quick version, because you were talking about the password was, did you get a Disney gift for Christmas? You and I, Mike, were fortunate that our friends and family got us a couple Disney gift cards. You know, those spend really well. But my in-laws, they've helped me a lot this year in 2024. So not to get too deep, but we have a second house that family house that I have, me and Liz do, and I've just been working on trying to get it ready in a good condition to sell. A lot of it just wasn't like sellable. So my father-in-law is retired, very handy. So he did a lot of work. We did a bathroom. But he's the guy, Mike, where he's like, okay, I did this project. Now I got to move on to another one. Well,
That's
that wasn't on my list.
It's so good to have a father-in-law that's handy. I'm saying.
I know, but he just kept finding stuff that wasn't like a necessity, but he's like, oh, I can fix this. I want to do this. So and this is like a hobby of theirs. So like, I felt really bad that they're like at this house all the time and I wasn't there, but it's like a hobby of theirs. So did really nice. And we actually listed the house. We got an offer in and all this. They just did all this great work. And so they wouldn't accept any money, you know, except for like the cost of the stuff. So as a nice thank you for Christmas, we booked them, thanks to you, the Magic for Less, and Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
We booked them a Disney cruise on the Wish in like 6 weeks.
You're going, and you see, everybody wins in this case because you got to show them the beautiful Disney Wish.
Yeah, I'm excited. So they've sailed nothing but Royal, and you know, Royal's a good cruise line. I'm wearing a Royal shirt right now. I enjoyed our cruise this summer. But for years, Mike, we've always told them, like, you guys got to try a Disney cruise. You know, like, we'd love to take you on one. They're like, oh, I don't know. It's a little more expensive, you know, and I don't know Disney characters and all that stuff. I'm like, no, trust me. Like, the product is like superb. Like, you're going to love it. And I knew this would be like probably the only way I could get them on one. So like, I'm very excited. It's just a 3-nighter, which I think is a good taste, right? Like, I've always said this about the Wish. Like, I always want more nights than the cruise I'm currently on, right? Yeah. 3 nights is about as short as they go, but they're really good for like weekend cruises or introductory cruises. I mean, they're familiar with cruising, but they just haven't done Disney. So we're going to go down, stay a night at Saratoga, do the cruise, and like have some time. Maybe go to Disney Springs before we go back to the airport. So I mean, we're stretching it out a little bit. So it'll be like a fun little like 5-day. We have this extension right of the cruise, which I think will be really good and fun for all of us. It's
going to be awesome because you guys will be able to show them, you know, because it'll be nice because if you only have a 3-night cruise, you'll be able to show them the best of the best. You've been on the Wish before, but they're going to get to see it. And it was funny because you booked that really great rate where you get that guaranteed veranda with restrictions, which you got, you know, it's a lot of restrictions where you got to pay them.
A lot of restrictions involved.
You can't make any changes. You can't change any guests. You can't change your date, no modifications, stuff like that. But you get a really nice deal in return. But as soon as you booked it, like maybe a couple hours later, you're like, oh my God, I just realized something. I'm like, dude, we just talked about this. I'm like, you cannot. I'm so nervous booking this because you can't make any changes, and we've already made the payment. Dude,
you can't like think about something.
So then you send me a text. You send me a text like, dude. I'm like, dude, don't dude me in a text, dude. This thing is locked.
I can't even remember what the dude thing was.
But you're like, it's Super Bowl Sunday that weekend. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what you just did? You just guaranteed the Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl. It's going to be the most epic Super Bowl watch party on Funnelvision.
Thanks to Paul, I got the great hat for it. I got the captain's hat. With
exactly. Dude, you're going to be watching the Super Bowl on Funnelvision. It's going to be fun. Think how cool Dan Campbell will look on that big screen. Oh my God.
And not to put you on the spot, I do have a question from my travel agent.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
I booked for this. So they're separate conf rooms, right?
Yep.
And they're guaranteed. So I know guaranteed rooms can be kind of different, but should we be seated together at dining? Do you think?
Yeah, you will be seated together at dining. Now your staterooms could be on opposite ends of the ship.
Yeah, that's why I told them, like, we might not be near each other, which might not be a bad thing.
Not that he put in that request, ladies and gentlemen. He did not. Just for the record, he did not put in that request.
Here's a catcher. I gotta say something too. I actually knew about the sailing, like these dates, because I gotta save the date for this itinerary a little while ago, because friends of ours are getting married on this ship, on this cruise, and they're Be Our Guest podcast lizards. So get out. Like, it's so awesome.
Dude,
so
it's crazy. We're taking over the world. That's just
I know.
all
So I talked to them. So we're going to be able to go to the ceremony. There's going to be like a small reception afterward on the Nassau day. So the question about Nassau earlier got me thinking like, well, I know what I'm doing on Nassau. I'm going to a wedding, which is going to be a cool experience on its own.
Oh my gosh. No, and that was so kind of you because, you know, I mean, what a great gift for your in-laws, you know, you go on a cruise and spend time together. And I mean, they'll get to hang out with Em and, you know, Elizabeth and you and your hat, your Lions.
Yeah, my Lions hat. Yeah.
Lions.
But it's fun, man. Like Pam always says this too. You and I agree, Ricky too. Like just the gift of travel, the gift of experiences, like are the best. Like, yes, in a normal circumstance year, like I love my in-laws. We see them all the time, go out to dinner, all that. But most years we're not gifting them a Disney cruise with airfare and all that. I mean, that's quite generous gift.
Yeah,
but this year just seemed different. You know, they did a lot for us this year, and we just want to pay it forward to them as a thank you. So. And like you said, we get to go too. So
winner. I know. So we'll get a great trip report. I mean, there's gonna be stories from this trip too. I can't.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of stories. Yes.
It's gonna be awesome.
Even for a 3-nighter, they're still filled with lots of stories.
Heck yeah! And if the Lions are in the Super Bowl, which I mean, there's good. I mean, I don't want to curse. I'm very sports superstitious, so I got to stop the talk right there. Because
I mean, shoot, we might not even get home field. I know we got Vikings fans in the chat. Like the home field for the playoffs come down next week against the Vikings because they're only 2 losses too. It's wild.
Dude, Vikings look good today. I know. And the Rams, dude, what's up with the Rams? They're like playing well too. I mean, holy smokes.
Anything can happen, man.
I know.
Dude, the Lions, as we know, are very banged up, very injured reserve, knock on wood. But it's been a miracle. It's been a magical season, and I'm on a cruise ship now the day of the Super Bowl. I mean, regardless, it's going to be cool. I think watching
for real
Super Bowl on Funnel Vision. But yeah,
my dad was talking scenarios where he could be in LA the weekend of the Disneyland.
Oh yeah,
half because that's the NFC Championship game. But the only way that happens is if they're playing a wild card team, because they would be the NFC West champs. That's the only way they get in. So who knows? I told him I'd take him to Disneyland if that happens because he's never been to Disney.
That'd be fun. So you got to hang out with my dad on his time with Disneyland last year.
So we'll see. Well, we're putting a lot of carts in front of a lot of horses right now. So
we are. Let's slow our roll down. Let's worry about Monday Night Football, Mizzou's bowl game.
Did you see what we're being like? Did you see the Buffalo come out of the Colorado game last night out of the gate? Did you see how slow that thing came out? Were you watching that last night? He didn't run. Yeah. Like they brought that big old huge Buffalo out before the game for the Colorado game against BYU. Look him up on Twitter, dude. They tried all those like Buffalo Wranglers. Usually he comes out like this, like a just a banshee, like they're all just hanging on for dear life on the side of that big old Buffalo. He came out and he just walked. They
should have just went home after that. They should have known.
They were saying on Twitter, they're like, if this isn't an omen for how this game was gonna go, dude, that was it.
I wonder how many bets were taken in Vegas for BYU after that point.
He was just like, I have no interest in being here. That Buffalo. They were trying to get him to run. Those Cowboys were like jumping up and down. So anyway, and by the way, Mike in the Midwest, the whole first 15 minutes, all about the Pop-Tart, how awesome the Pop-Tart Bowl was. So look, you're missing out on that too. Anyway.
And now the Uncrustable Bowl needs to happen, right?
Yes, it does.
Sponsored by the Be Our Guest podcast.
100%. Yes, Jason will call the game for us. All right, we got to get out of here, but we'll have great shows this week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Scott, Ricky, and I are going to be here, so come on back. Don't forget our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'll get you on those Disney ships. We'll get you down to Walt Disney World, out to Disneyland, even seeing the world with Adventures by Disney. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That's one extra click that supports the show throughout the year. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you again to our Patreon supporters. You guys keep the show going. It's $5 a month, all it costs. And it really does help support the show. You get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. So come on over this week, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give us a follow on the social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Give Scott a follow at EpScott in the same places. And more importantly, check him out over on YouTube at Must See Adventure. Scott, two episodes this week, correct?
2 episodes this week. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. It's a day in Santiago, Spain. We just see unbelievable looking architecture and like all these old churches. Just a really fun day there. I talk about the prizes that I won on Name That Tune as well. So that's kind of fun. So I do a little prize reveal. I've done another great day at sea. It's our 13th day on the ship, Mike. And we're still finding things we hadn't done yet. So yeah, so another fun day. on sea, and then only one more cruise day to go, and then we're off to Disneyland Paris. So definitely subscribe and like. We're going to have some Disney content coming really soon, Disneyland Paris.
All right. And also join us in the clubhouse so we can talk about all these great things. We talk about life. We talk about Disney. We talk about just getting together and just hanging out and having fun. So come on over to beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. No cost, no fuss, just a lot of fun. All right. We'll catch you this week in the clubhouse and on the shows. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great week and Happy New Year, everybody. Let's make 2025 awesome. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.